Hi, this is Demetra Clark, the director of Heart of Herbs Herbal School, and today on the Heart of Herbs Herbal School podcast short, we're going to be talking about the three most searched herbs of 2026. So the big three are ashwagandha, turmeric, and ginseng. If the internet had a spice rack, three herbs would be worn down from nubs for all the searching: ashwagandha, turmeric, and ginseng. The most searched, most sold, most talked about herbs of 2026. And here's what makes me smile. None of these are new, not even close. These three have resumes stretching back thousands of years, full of emperors, horse jokes, wedding rituals, and at least one famous American frontiersman with a side hustle. Let's meet the trending trio, and I promise their history is better than their hashtags. Ashwagandha, the herb that smells like a horse. On purpose. Let's start with the herb that everyone's whispering about at the co-op, ashwagandha. First, the name in Sanskrit, ashwagandha, means smell of a horse. And yes, that's partly because the fresh root generally smells a bit barnyardy. But traditionally, it also carried a promise that the herb would give you strength and the vitality of a stallion. 3,000 years of Ayurvedic practice, and the marketing on this one was already good. In Ayurveda, ashwagandha is classified as a rasayana, a rejuvenating tonic, the kind of herb traditionally given to help the body find its footing again after stress, illness, or exhaustion. It's the herb of let's build you back up from the ground up. And the species name, sonifera, is Latin for sleep-inducing. The ancients watched this plant carefully, and they noticed something modern folks are rediscovering. This is traditionally a calming strengthener, not a stimulating one. A tonic that whispers instead of shouts. You'll sometimes see it or hear it called Indian ginseng, which drives botanists a little wild because it's not related to ginseng at all. It's actually in the nightshade family, cousin to tomatoes. Yes, really, your salad and your stress support share a family reunion. One note from your friendly herbalist: ashwagandha has been traditionally avoided in pregnancy, and anyone on thyroid medication or nightshade sensitivities should have a conversation with their care provider first. Ancient doesn't mean automatic. Turmeric, the golden child, literally. Next up, turmeric, curcuma longa, the herb so golden it's been dyeing things sacred for millennia. And if you've ever worked with it, you'll know it'll tie your hands for millennia if you don't have gloves on. Turmeric has been cultivated in India for something like 4,000 years, woven into Ayurvedic tradition, cooking, ceremony, and cloth. That brilliant orange gold color, why? It's the Buddhist monk's robe glow. Saffron gold, turmeric was one of the traditional dyes used. When Marco Polo encountered it in the 1200s, he described it as a vegetable with the qualities of saffron, high praise since saffron was worth more than gold. But my favorite chapter is in the haldi ceremony. In many Indian weddings, still today, the bride and groom are lovingly slathered in turmeric paste before the big day for blessing, for beauty, for that lit from within glow. 4,000 years of tradition in the skincare industry is now just catching up. Medicinally, turmeric has been used to support healthy digestion and to soothe the kind of everyday inflammation life hands us. It's warming, bitter, and golden through and through. Traditional cooks figured out something clever long before the research papers, pairing turmeric with black pepper and fat, like in golden milk, which we have an amazing recipe for on our blog, helps the body actually make use of it. Grandma's recipe was the delivery system all along. The next on our list is ginseng, and this is the root that looks like you. And finally, the elder statesman of the trending list, ginseng. The Chinese name renshen means man root because a mature ginseng root with its little arms and legs looks uncannily like a tiny person. Under the old doctrine of signatures, a root shaped like a whole human was believed to strengthen the whole human. In traditional Chinese medicine, panax ginseng has been revered for over 2,000 years as a super qi tonic. Qi tonics are awesome and traditionally used to restore vitality, stamina, and resilience. Even the botanical name is a flex, panax, coming from the Greek root as panacea, all heal. Now, here's the part they don't teach you in history class. When American ginseng was discovered growing wild in North American forests in the early 1700s, it kicked off a full-blown trade boom with China. Fortunes were made shipping the Appalachian roots across the ocean, and one of history's most famous ginseng dealers was Daniel Boone. Yes, the coonskin cap, legendary wilderness legend, and part-time ginseng trader. Here in the Virginia mountains, sang hunting was a grocery money for generations, which brings the whole situation around to a serious note. Wild American ginseng has been loved nearly to death. Poaching is a real problem where I live and in areas around me. And I will tell you, if you poach on other people's land who either do not harvest it or do not want you on their land, decimating their wild resources, even if they're not going to use it, people are starting to guard these things with weaponry. I'm not even kidding. So please be careful and ask permission before you do anything on anyone else's land, especially because a lot of poachers are armed. Okay. So anyways, you want to make sure that everybody is safe. So if you have something like this and you don't want people finding it, don't invite people on your land to see it. Keep it safe. It's on the United States plants, the United Plant Savers at Risk list. And as an herbalist, I will always tell you, choose cultivated for wood-grown ginseng and let the wild ones be. Being the trendy herb for 300 years takes a toll on a plant. And this is one of the plants that I have been fighting to protect since I was probably like 14 years old. And I learned about how decimated it was becoming. So there you have it. The 3 most searched herbs of 2026. A horse-scented nightshade, a golden wedding blessing, and a little root shaped like a person that Daniel Boone sold to China. So the algorithms may have just discovered them, but herbalists have been keeping their stories for thousands of years, and that's what we do. We tell stories and we remember. This is Demetria Clark, the director of Heart of Herbs Herbal School. Thank you so much for listening. And remember, this is just educational content. Traditional uses described are historical and not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Consult your care provider. Be a grown-up. Be responsible. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful day.